All right, namaste, welcome back. I haven't taken a trade in 4 days, but these 4 days have been the most awesome days in my trading journey because I've gained so much clarity around what I want to do, right? So basically, I was trading a little bit of everything, a little bit of break and retest, a little bit of supply and demand, a little bit of two-legged pullback. But what I decided to do is to stick with one strategy, right? One model, and if I see it, I take it, otherwise, I'm not trading, okay? And the other thing that I decided to do is to stay very patient and to only enter a trade when it's like a my A plus setup, okay? Or it's like a B. I'm not trying to gamble or trade just for the sake of it. It's just taking a trade when it's time to go. Otherwise, I'm staying out. Okay. And the model that I chose to stick with is ICT's unicorn model. I personally have not studied ICT. I have not watched any of his videos, but I was in a few groups where they taught this ICT model, and I know just enough to be dangerous with it, to understand it, to take trades. But if I'm not very familiar with any of the other ICT concepts. Um, but I heard he's amazing. He did a lot. He contributed a lot to the trading community. So it feels great to be using his teachings. So with that, using that one model, I'm now able to just focus on psychology, right? It's been proven that that model works. So now I just have to focus on the psychology to make it work for me. But with that being said, let's jump into the trade breakdown for the day. Like I said, I waited 4 days to take the trade. It was because I'm working my 9 to 5. And also I was trying to understand this model really well, and then making sure that when I'm taking that trade is because I am very sure, very confident that not that the trade is gonna win, so to speak, but more that I've checked all the boxes and everything is lining up in my side to say, okay, take a trade here, okay? So basically, my bias for on the daily was bullish. Okay, the reason is, if you look here, we're at the daily ranges, and this is the 50%, right? So we're below the 50% mark, so we're at a discount to buy back, and we're falling into this fair value gap here on the daily. So my idea was, okay, maybe we'll get a bounce here and go up. So that was the idea coming into the session, right? And there was some news today as well. So now when I'm looking at the 1 hour, I wasn't very confident anymore, because if you see here, look at that, it's just kind of disrespecting that fair value gap. It's not really giving me that bounce and that change of character that I want to confirm, okay, yeah, we're actually going up here. But if you look as well, this was the London low for the day. And if you look at those hour candles, it drops down and then it pumps back up, which clearly shows like a liquidity grab. If you look at the wick it leaves, right? It's just grabbing that London low. So now I'm interested. I'm like, okay, so now we might get a bounce. And if you see here, I see that change of character, and I'm like, okay, aligned with my daily bias. Even if it's going down, it might end up giving us that wick of that candle, right, on the daily. So to me, that was enough to take a trade, not load the farm, because sometimes I might get that A plus 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 setup where I know it's like very nice. So I want to be able to risk a little bit more on those. But for now, this was just a regular 1% risk, okay? And then for the actual unicorn setup, what I saw was this down, up, down, grab liquidity, and then go up, right? So we grab that liquidity right here as well. So now all I'm waiting for is a fair value gap, which was in here, very tiny, and inside the breaker block, which is the unicorn setup, and risk 221. Beautiful trade. I was plus 918, I think, on the day. So now, if you can see at my account, I'm positive. I was minus 350, I think, for last week, but now I'm in positive on my account. I'm feeling good about it, and hopefully we can pass it in the next week or so, because it will actually reset in a week. So I might risk a little bit more on this account next week, but not because I'm gambling, but because it's gonna reset anyway. So I might as well risk a bit more and try to pass it instead of being charged again, right? And before I leave, I wanted to share with you this piece of wisdom, okay? All right, this is what I wanted to share with you and why I decided to just stick with one specific strategy, right? This is a quote from Swami Vivekananda. He says, take up one idea, make that one idea your life. Think of it, dream of it, live on that idea. Let the brain, muscles, nerves, every part of your body be full of that idea, and just leave every other idea alone. This is the way to success. So that's why I decided to pick the unicorn model. Is very, very mechanical. I know exactly when I'm gonna enter. After I have picked my bias. Is it in line with my bias? There's a higher time frame liquidity grab, and then I see that pattern. This is very mechanical for me, and so now I don't have to worry about just analyzing the charts. I either see it and I enter it or not. Okay, so now that leaves me a lot of room to focus on my psychology, on mastering my mind and the emotions of the market, the ups and downs of the market, to become consistent and profitable. Okay, I hope this little quote helps you, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Namaste.